you look at the volume, when you say there's a lot of volume, like is there kind of a baseline like that's considered, you know what I mean? Like if
Yeah,
like 50, go
here's
ahead.
how I know, Cody. Can you see my screen? So right here, you see this volume?
Okay.
I look at the volume versus the average volume, and then I know, and it's different for every single stock. But since I've been staring at these for 3 decades, I kind of know when I can see more volume coming in or not. Like this. So this is a normal average volume day. Right now it's almost lunch and there's only half the amount of volume. This is a normal volume day for Netflix. See it?
Yeah. Okay.
But a lot of times when I say I see the volume coming in, what I'm referring to is see this L2?
Yes.
I'll see a ton of buying come flying in here, and or I'll see some of these giant candles will start to develop, meaning there's a lot more activity going on in here.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I have my L2 set up and I have my key stat.
Well, and here's the thing, just like you see how we're watching Netflix L2 right now.
Yep.
So I'm watching the oops, I just drew right over it, but I'm watching like its average buy right here. See all these?
Mhm.
If I see a spike in volume, either A, these numbers will start to go up, or B, these will start running really fast, meaning buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. But
Yeah.
I can tell just by looking at this when we see an influx of volume. Do you see how they're all just kind of sitting flat, not really doing anything?
Yes.
If big amounts of volume come in, all these numbers will super rapidly change. Like,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Like in the first, 5-10 minutes, pretty much every.
Or if it just starts to pile in, like, because here's the thing, right? I can't monitor, right, thousands of stocks at a time. I get three on my screen,
Yeah.
right? Three at any given time. That's all I'm watching at any given time, minus my watch list over here. But if I start to see one of these, one of the big boys, that's why I always try to leave SPY up. If I see a SPY start to spike and then I look at something else, I go, oh, that means volume is coming into the market, which usually either means the bots have turned the machines on to buy, hedges are buying, or some sort of global catalyst news came out. But typically it's hedge funds, right?
Yeah. So that
Oh,
makes sense.
yeah.
And then just my last question in within all of that. So like the volume and the average volume, is that like mine says 3M? I can't really see yours
3
on the
million. Yeah.
average.
3.97 million, mine
So,
says.
so
Yep.
what's the difference? But what is volume and then average volume? What's the difference between the two of those?
The volume is the actual volume coming in now for this day. The average volume is over the course of time. What is the average amount of buyers and sellers? That's volume.
But on what time frame? Or do I not need to worry about that?
Yeah, you don't need to worry about it. It's an
Okay.
average over. I think it says 3M. I'd have to look. It might
Yeah,
be
that's
over the course of 3 months, but I'd have to look.
that's what I was just wondering, but I don't want to overthink it. So, all right. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Coach.
all you
Appreciate it,
ever
brother.
care about is volume versus average volume. And the reason is, let me look. Again, if you have a ginormous, let me show you. You see the volume on FRC? 69 million. Its
Yes.
average volume is 25 million. It's 3 times the average volume going to the downside. That tells you stay away from a call or a long, right?
Yeah. Okay. That's
That
that's
is
a perfect
massive
example.
volume pushing this off a cliff. The one good thing that you have going in your favor is you see this down here?
Mm-hmm.
You see how it's fading?
Right.
So it's starting to try to make a move to the upside. The only way
Mm-hmm.
that's going to happen is if you're watching the L2 over here, you're going to get a pile of volume. You're going to see volume super increase. If it does, you get hang on because then we could start to move to the upside. If the
But the
volume
volume,
stays flat, it's going to keep going down.
but the volume is already at a massive number.
Yeah, it is, but it's already, it's because of the sell-off from pre-market. So the volume
Oh,
is there
okay.
because there was so much that it built, right, in pre-market that not everybody then
Mm-hmm.
had to sell off. That's where all that volume came from.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and here's the other rule, and I'm glad you said that. The other rule with volume, this is a big, big, big rule, by the way. Large volume to the downside, stay away from that train. You're not going to
Mm-hmm.
change the course with, small accounts. If you've got to the downside and it's large volume, stay away from it because that will just rip your soul apart. Just
It
like if
did.
there's large volume to the upside and you're trying to short it, just get off the tracks immediately. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's one of those. Think of it like a giant army, right? And it's just pushing through.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way in hell a couple people are going to buy this up and try to take out this big force. There's a big boulder rolling downhill, right? You're like, oh,
Right.
let's build it up with a couple of pebbles. So it could. That's why I mean, look for volume. Volume's going to be your only friend here. If you can get a large amount of volume and it's driving to the upside, because think about it, the buying volume has to be bigger than the selling volume. So you've got to see a
Mm-hmm.
giant spike. And that's the other thing you could watch for is if you see a giant spike of volume down here, to be a big green bar.
Mm-hmm.
If it looks like this was a red bar sell off,
Right.
if you see a big green bar, that can indicate a reversal.
Okay.
Something else to be watching for. So you're looking for a giant green bar. You're watching the L2 for level, your volume to pour in. Otherwise, manage your risks.